On location at City Hall in St. Petersburg, I'm Carson Cooper, and this is a Florida Matters Newsmakers special, the first 100 days of Rick Kriseman. Welcome to Florida Matters. Thanks for having us here.
Well, thanks. It's great to be here with you today.
You know, I first of all got to wondering why in the world we seem to be so enamored with these first 100-day things. I mean, last year there was a city official in Toledo who refused to even issue some sort of 100 days report saying nothing can be measured in 3 months. Do you agree with that?
Well, you know, it is challenging to try and tackle a lot of the issues and expect that they're going to get resolved in 3 months. But, you know, I think people, myself included, are anxious to see change and to see growth. And so, you know, people want to see, what have you been doing? And I understand that. I'm impatient myself, and I look at my 100 days and say, why didn't I get more done?
Yeah.
But you know, government sometimes moves slower than all of us would like, and so we have to deal with that. But
well, during the second half of the program, we will hear from our listeners who submitted questions to us during these past few days. So we'll get ready for that in a moment. First of all, back before the election, our WUSF Public Media Bay News 9 Tampa Bay Times poll found the top concern among voters was the future of the pier. Now, just a few days after you took office, you said you'd like to see a new pier open by 2015. A little ambitious, perhaps?
Very ambitious. You know, I'm a believer that you set ambitious goals. You may not always achieve them, but if you don't set them, you have no chance of achieving them. So.
Now, your transition team said something more like, I think, 2017 or a little beyond that. Where are we with the pier?
Yeah, what we've been doing since I was elected is I've been meeting with stakeholders and all the different stakeholder groups that have been involved in the pier process previously, from the Save the Pier to the Concerned Citizens to the Build the Lens to We Hate the Lens, We Love the Lens, We Love the Pier, We Hate the Pier, all the different groups. Mm-hmm. And what I want to get from them and what I've talked to them about is, what's our process for going forward? What's it going to look like? And to make sure that I have them on board from the front end with how we're going to get this thing done, so that we avoid what happened this last time going forward.
Now, Council Member Wenge Newton, who wants to save the current pier, says he'd like the city to hold another referendum on this to ask voters, do you want to keep the current pier? Now, you haven't exactly taken a hard stance against rehabbing the current pier, have you?
Well, I've kind of made it known that that's not something I favor. But having said that, the way this process that we're designing is being designed is, what I want to happen isn't necessarily what's going to happen. It's going to really be, what do the people of this community want? Do they want to refurbish the pier? Do they want a new structure? But most importantly, we're going to be very clear on, what do we want it to do? How is it going to function programmatically?
Would you favor another referendum?
What the process I'm proposing will do is, it will go back to the voters, to the residents of the city, first to get their feedback on what they want it to do, but then secondly on what it looks like. As far as a referendum itself, I'm not supportive of that. What we will be doing, or what we're looking at, I should say, is a non-binding vote that the public would weigh in on from the standpoint of what it looks like. Mm-hmm. But I think right now, to hold a referendum, if we were to do it today, I don't think it's really fair to do it today, because there isn't a choice. You know, from what Councilmember Newton is proposing, it's, do you want to save the pier or not? Well, what are our options? And right there, you're not giving people an option other than saving it to compare it against. So I don't think you're getting a fair description of what the folks of this community want.
Still $50 million in the budget for whatever happens?
No, we spent about $5 million getting to where we're at today. So we really only have about $45 million to work with, and that's total. And then by the time you take, you know, your permitting fees and your design fees and all the other costs associated, soft costs associated with getting to the construction phase, we're not going to have $45 million to even build what we build going forward.